games, and that's incredible for a team. Um, Arsenal are slightly above that. They have um, they have right here. They have, if I'm looking at it now, they have 23.33% loss. Um, that's a lot. Unless it drops, um, for sure they are not going to win the title. They need to stop losing games. Um, Draw games that they probably lose, and then win a lot more games than they're winning at the moment. And I hope that they'll be able to beat Watford on the second or the third that they're playing the game. So I'd say 2-0 to Arsenal. I'll say 2-0 to Arsenal against Watford. But don't take my word for it, because Watford are gonna probably play better than most people would expect them to. Third game is Bournemouth versus Man City. Um, Not too long ago, and I like to be more about the statistics than subjective analysis. But this is my very first video cast, so I'll stick to just impromptu ideas and opinions that are coming to my head right now, and that's what I'm going to stick for right now. Until I get things together, I'll be able to introduce a little bit more the statistics that I'm sure you fans will love. Bournemouth, not too long ago, I was thinking that they had enough to stay up, and I was right. But I also thought that things weren't going their way, and they could find themselves in the relegation battle. But things have changed. They picked up some few wins. Um, Recently, they had um, 3 wins and a loss, and just before those 3 wins, they had a draw. So that is not a bad result. That's not a bad form compared with Arsenal's, and you see what I'm saying. They're going to play against Man City, and Man City at the moment are in, I would say, turmoil. They absolutely have dropped the ball, and I think that's going to be pointed at a lot of things. It could be pointed at the manager, it could be pointed at the players, it could be pointed at the management, it could be pointed at just pure hard luck, injuries, lists, and the rest of it. But the team from Manchester City that looked right from the beginning of the season, when they had how many? 5 wins in a row. It looked at that point that this was going to be a case of Manchester City and the rest. Manchester just go straight ahead, win it with maybe a record gap. That hasn't happened, and things have just turned around. City will not be too happy about that. They did not know the state of the club, the state the club would be in when Guardiola comes in. So that is not very good for these shareholders. They need some stability, security, and assurances that this club will still remain at the top of football's pinnacle, at the pinnacle of football in Europe. And it's good that they're still in the Champions League. They're playing, I think, PSG. So we'll see how that goes. Because if we can get past them, then that will be a season to be considered a success in Champions League in Europe. And when Guardiola comes in, he can build upon that, even if they don't go further than that. Against Bournemouth, they're playing away, and they're going to face a team that is going to be resolute. But as we have always known with Man City, they have so many individual players that if you not ignore, but lose sight of one of them, they could hurt you badly. So most pundits will go for Man City for sure. Depending on how Man City come out in that game. If the psyche of the players is that they've lost the title, this game could be a draw, or Bournemouth could beat them. So it's very difficult to give it a call. I don't want to go to Man City immediately because Bournemouth seem to be, even though they lost their last match, seem to be a more together team, and therefore they're going to give, playing at home, they're going to give Man City a lot of trouble. So I'll go on a draw with this one, a 1-1. The next game we're going to be playing, we're going to be discussing is Norwich against Newcastle, and that is what they call the traditional 6-pointer. 6 points for any team. The pressure is more on Benitez's side. You can see that the first 2 games he played have not turned out exactly the way he wanted. The first game he lost to Leicester City. I'm sure he would have taken a draw in that one, having just arrived. The game against Sunderland, he would have wanted to win, and it probably would have disappointed him that they went behind first before they had to come back to equalize. If you want to put a silver lining on it and say that the results are improving, then you can do that. I'm sure he'll be trying to do that because he needs all the motivational energy to get those players to stop firing because there's very little time. A few games left. They need to get their acts together. Townsend would be thinking to himself, now what I've got myself into, but if he's fit, he needs to spearhead that attack and create some magic for Newcastle, because it's a shame that they're going through the same thing that they went through last season. And I said in my blog section, throughout this season, Newcastle have hogged that 18th position like it's their birthright. And you look at the players in there, I would say the same thing as I'm saying. I said about Aston Villa. You cannot understand why they're there. You would think with the players that they have, they should at least be out of that bottom 3. But there they are, they're still there. And a game against Norwich, with Norwich doing so well recently, giving themselves a huge chance to get out, it's not going to be easy for Newcastle. Norwich know that they've got the mentality, they've got the players to get a good result against Newcastle, and I'm afraid if Newcastle lose this game against Norwich, psychologically they'll be finished. So it's going to be a battle. Norwich know if they win this one, also that they're definitely on the rise, and probably will give them a momentum that the other teams don't have. I could see Newcastle, Sunderland, and Aston Villa going down, which would be a huge event if Norwich can pull off a good win against Newcastle to give them momentum. And let me see, their next match is against Crystal Palace away. A very difficult one as well. So Crystal Palace, I saw somewhere in one of the articles saying that they could sleepwalk into the championship, and it's a very nice phrase. It seems like that's what's happening. But that next match for Norwich, if Norwich could beat Newcastle, would be the turning point for Norwich. If they can win the next 2 matches, I think they'll be out of it, and they know it. So they'll be geared up. So Newcastle and Crystal Palace know exactly what's coming out of their matches against Norwich. Just a case of whether luck will shine on, and who get their acts together and give their fans what they deserve. The next match we're going to be talking about is Stoke Swansea. Swansea, not too long ago, just like Crystal Palace, sleepwalking back into relegation, and they found themselves on a trajectory upwards, and that's a very That's a very good thing for Swansea. The manager I had was being touted. I don't know how serious it is. Sometimes these rumors they come out from nowhere and are unsubstantiated. That the manager Guadolin uh, is touted to take over the Italian national side. I don't know how true that is. But he's done, in my opinion, a slightly good job in Swansea. He's kept the team together, got them playing well. And against Stoke, who are looking very, very, very good and solid, would find it very hard to Swansea find it very hard to gain a point from this match. It depends. All depends on how well Stoke can get their match mentality for this particular game, because I think there will be a little bit of a sympathy on Stoke's side as to the plight of Swansea, and they will recognize a good side, which Swansea is. Stoke are in eighth position with 46 points, so they're very good, comfortable place. Whether they want to go make a run for Europe, I'm not so sure. Do they have those ambitions? It's not easy for teams to manage European campaigns alongside Premiership and the cups that they have. Capital Cup, FA Cup. It's not easy. So clubs know this, and sometimes they, in a subtle way, try to avoid taking on too much. And so I would presume, I'm not right, I'm not definitely sure, presume that Stoke would prefer not to make Europe. Just have a good finish to the season, stay in the top half, which they are in at the moment, and build up on that for next season. That I think would not be a huge disappointment to the fans, but I could be wrong. So if they have that mentality going in against Swansea, then Swansea might have a chance. I think the last head-to-head they had, first game that was played in Liberty Stadium, Stoke won. So you'd think Stoke would have the wherewithal to beat Swansea at home. So I'll go for a 2-1 victory to Stoke in this particular one. Sunderland, West Brom. Sunderland, one of the teams I mentioned earlier that are struggling at the bottom. Sam Allardyce has done a very good job to keep hopes alive, give them a fighting chance. They should have won the match against Newcastle, which would have given a very big message to other teams around them that they have the momentum, they have the luck, and they have the mentality to get out of relegation. But unfortunately, that game ended in a draw, and I'm sure that's again we'll have to rule points that would have meant that they would have been clear out of the relegation battle, and they're still there, having to scrapple for points 8-9 games into the end of the season. Not what the fans want. It's not good for the heart. Their game against West Brom, they're playing at home, so you give them a slight edge to win this one, because it's more important to them than it is to West Brom. West Brom have 39 points, so they need probably just 3-4 points to guarantee their position in their stay in the Premiership. They're in the 11th position, Sunderland in the 18th, and have 26 points. Sunderland need some points now They have to go into this match fighting for every